more about a search for human remains at a home in South Crest. Hear from those that got kicked out for the investigation coming up.
We've got photos taken inside the house in South Crest where human remains were found.
The parking meters are up on 6th Avenue across from Balboa Park, but neighbors who live nearby say they can't afford it.
And calling an entire country and its people garbage. How people of Somalian descent here in San Diego are responding to the president's comments.
A vehicle that runs on sunshine, soon to be mass-produced right here in Carlsbad.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
We begin tonight with new details about the search for human remains at a house in South Crest as investigators wrapped up on the property today. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Right now, we do not know the identity or any background information of the remains that were found. Tonight, we are learning more about the history of the house's ownership and who lived there over the years. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But we begin tonight with CBS 8's Alex Cheney, who talked with the family living in the house when investigators served a search warrant. Alex?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The police tape got brought down at about 3 o'clock today, so we're getting our first up-close look at this house since investigators moved in on Tuesday. Earlier today, I talked to a mom and a daughter who lived here at the house when they got kicked out so that investigators could begin their work. Earlier today, they were told they can return to the home, but said they won't.
We do want to go back to go get our things, but we're not going to be staying there.
Judith Santos Gonzalez lived at the house on Newton Avenue for the last year with her mom, 2 sisters, and 5 children.
Excuse me, sir.
On Sunday, detectives delivered a search warrant and told them they had to leave by Tuesday. Detectives gave them money to stay at a hotel through today. Authorities now telling them they can go home, but they don't want to.
It's very uncomfortable knowing that we live there with family, kids. We have kids living there. And then knowing that they found human remains in their house, it's just like, we don't feel comfortable being there anymore.
The former tenant of the home is 74-year-old Dwight Roan. The district attorney's office says he is now a person of interest connected to the investigation. But he's already in jail, facing murder and attempted robbery charges from 2023. Judith says when they first arrived to the home, they were already suspicious.
Now that we think about it, these sheriffs would come to our house when we first moved in, asking for a person we didn't even know anything about. How are we going to know that something happened here? And they're like, we just didn't know. We didn't know anything.
She says they had no idea about what happened at the house before moving in.
That's kind of what disappointed us, that they didn't really communicate us about the history of the house.
And now for more on photos from inside the home and more background on the suspect, we go to my investigative colleague, David Gottfredson.
That's right. We obtained photos from inside that house taken in 2023 before this house was completely renovated. The person who took those photos gave us permission to put them on TV, but they did not want to speak on TV because of the nature of the case and the ongoing investigation. These photos were taken in 2023 for a real estate listing before the house was sold and later completely renovated. The house appears dirty and dilapidated, likely the same way it looked when Dwight Roan was living here for years with family members. Police confirmed they have found human remains, but we don't know exactly where. We don't know how many victims have been found or who they are. In one of the photos, we see a woman sitting on a bed. The photographer tells me she was a transient. In a 2017 restraining order seeking to force Roan out of the house, his sister-in-law writes, quote, "Roan has brought men and women to our home who are drunk and appear to be on drugs." Federal court records offer more clues. In 2018, a Border Patrol agent wrote in a sworn declaration, Roan has been previously apprehended for alien smuggling in the Campo Border Patrol Station's area of responsibility and is a known alien smuggler. Roan is now age 74 and an ex-con with a long criminal history dating back to when he was a teenager. He's currently in jail charged with a 2023 murder in the South Bay. Also in 2023, he was arrested for being a felon in possession of a handgun while in the company of a gang member, according to court records. SDPD officers observed a known 5'9" Brim criminal street gang member sitting in the passenger side of the vehicle, one officer wrote in a court statement. Roan has been named a person of interest in connection to the human remains found in his former house, but so far he has not been charged in connection to those remains.
Roan will be in court next week. Our cameras will be there. It's a routine hearing as he prepares for a preliminary hearing to face the murder charges against him, those murder charges from the case in 2023.
Thanks, David. Stay with CBS 8 for any developments on this story. We will post any updates on CBS8.com. You can also follow us on social media or download our free CBS 8 app.
New parking meters along 6th Avenue bordering Balboa Park are up and running now. And people who live in the area who don't have their own dedicated parking spaces are worried they may now be priced out. We first brought you their concerns after the San Diego City Council approved the fees last month.
Tonight, we're working for you to get more answers about a proposal from the city. CBS 8's Abby Black joins us live from Bankers Hill. Abby, what are those residents saying about the latest proposal from the city?
Well, I want to show you these parking meters right here that are on 6th Avenue are now up and operational and being enforced. All the while, the paid parking inside Balboa Park does not start until January 5th. The city says that the point of these meters is to help deter the park visitors from overflowing into residential neighborhoods. But working for you, I talked to the people who live inside these apartment complexes who say this timing is not adding up, and neither is the city's proposal to offer a discounted permit for just 1 day a week.
The parking meters are up on 6th Avenue across from Balboa Park, and free parking for residents like Connor Hancock is gone, and there's no parking garage nearby.
But you have to move your car every 4 hours, but even if I did that, I think it'd be like $20 a day, and that's including Sundays, including Saturday. That would be a lot of money.
We did the math at $2.50 an hour with a 4-hour maximum for a 12-hour period. That's $30 a day.
If this stays and I elected to park in front of my house, it would cost me $11,000 a year.
Aaron Quintanar and his neighbors reached out to CBS 8 for help when the city extended paid parking outside Balboa Park. The meters are now operational and already enforced, but paid parking inside Balboa Park doesn't start until January 5th. Hancock says that timing doesn't make sense.
It's not that close to Balboa Park. I mean, even right now, the other side is empty, so I really don't know who they think is going to pay to park here all day, every day.
We asked the city if there could be any parking breaks for residents. In an email, a spokesperson said the meters were installed to prevent park visitors from clogging residential streets after paid parking starts inside the park in January. The city plans to offer discounted Sunday parking permits for residents near meters, but they won't work on 6th Avenue itself, only nearby side streets.
That doesn't solve our problem, our parking problems.
We looked over the city's parking FAQ page. Meters on 6th Avenue run from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily at $2.50 an hour with a 4-hour max. The Sunday permits would cost $150 a year and could roll out as early as April.
Hopefully they listen to their constituents, especially the ones that they're pretty much displacing from where they live. Because it's a big deal to us, even though it's just a few of us. It does affect our lives.
Neighbors say they'll keep pushing for a daily permit option.
I'm still waiting to hear back from Councilmember Stephen Whitburn. He represents this area, and during this whole paid parking discussion, he did raise his concerns, but ultimately approved the paid parking plan.
This is a big problem for the people who live there, Abby. That's a lot of money. This first proposal, which is very minimal, the Sunday-only permits, is it a done deal?
No, absolutely not. This still needs to go in front of the city council so neighbors can still have an opportunity to voice their concerns or their opposition. But if the council approves it, which they will discuss it in January, if it's approved, this plan would not roll out until April. So they would have to wait until April to get this permit if that is what happens.
In the meantime, big parking problems for them. Abby Black reporting for us. Thanks, Abby. And remember, if there's something you would like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com.
New tonight, we're following up on a $21.5 million settlement over the death of 11-year-old Arabella McCormick, who investigators say died in 2022 at the hands of her adoptive family. We first told you about this story yesterday.
CBS 8's Shannon Handy has details on the settlement and what a child law expert is saying about the case.
The allegations are horrific. Arabella was reportedly tortured for years. Her two younger sisters also lived in the home and allegedly faced the same. This settlement is for them after a lawsuit was filed on their behalf. 11-year-old Arabella McCormick reportedly weighed just 48 pounds in August of 2022 when she was found unresponsive in the Spring Valley home of her adoptive family.
She had 13 broken bones. Her bones were sticking out.
Attorney Craig McClellan represents Arabella's two surviving little sisters who were removed from the home and placed in foster care. CBS 8's David Goverson spoke with him in 2023 about a lawsuit filed on their behalf. It accused multiple agencies, including the city and county, a school, and the Rock Church, of failing to report the abuse, neglect, and starvation of Arabella. This week, all parties announced a settlement deal. Under it, the city would pay $10 million, Pacific Coast Academy $8.5 million, and the Rock Church $3 million. The county's amount has not been released.
This is incredibly appalling. It is incredibly concerning. It's clearly a lost opportunity to literally save a child's life.
Jessica Hellman is an associate professor in child rights at the University of San Diego School of Law. She's also the executive director of the Children's Advocacy Institute. She says California has mandated reporting laws to ensure people who work with children report any reasonable suspicions of abuse or neglect, something that wasn't followed in this case.
When children suffer abuse or neglect in their homes, it's behind closed doors. So when professionals have the opportunity, it's their responsibility under these laws.
Arabella's adoptive mother, Leticia McCormick, was an elder at the Rock Church. The lawsuit alleges a Rock Church child abuse investigator visited the family's home a week before Arabella died, but did not report evidence of abuse. Leticia and her parents also volunteered for the San Diego Police Department. An officer allegedly gave Leticia a wooden paddle, which she used to beat all three girls. The lawsuit also alleges County Child Welfare Services investigated the family in 2018 but never brought charges. Leticia and her parents are now being held on murder charges as they await trial. The criminal complaint lists 641 overt acts. Arabella's adoptive father, Brian McCormick, would have also faced charges, but the Border Patrol agent committed suicide by shooting himself inside his truck the day Arabella died. Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Thanks, Shannon. San Diegans are pushing back on a proposal to open oil drilling off California's coast.
We're live at a meeting happening right now in Encinitas. That's still ahead. Plus, what Somalis living in San Diego are saying tonight after controversial remarks by President Trump.
And later, we're getting a closer look at a new car designed by a San Diego company that's powered by the sun.
It's back, that full moon. But on top of that, you're also talking about being a supermoon. It's the last one of the year, and that's creating those king tides out there. We're also talking about some high temperatures by next week. They're going to put us warmer than usual. All the details are coming up.